collaborate on you and Josie? You don't have like a running bet or something, or?
Yeah, I think we've been tied for home runs for like weeks now, and so every time I hit one, she's like, "Now I gotta hit one. We gotta stay tied."
Yeah, so now I'm behind, so I got to get it together.
You get extra points for Grand Slam? That doesn't.
No, no, yeah, I wish, but no.
When was the last Grand Slam you had?
Oh boy,
I feel like you had one this year.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I'll look it up
You
very
had a
quick.
Texas, though? You did a Grand Slam here?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure.
Are you up there with the environment that you're in? And, you know, you guys are obviously riding this wave. Are you even thinking Grand Slam home run when you come over the bases loaded?
Not necessarily. I think that at bat I kind of was in the last resort mode for myself, and I was just like, I don't care where it is, I'm hacking at it. And so, first pitch I swung at a pitch that was a little bit high, and then I got the pitch that I wanted afterwards. So, it was just my approach. It wasn't really necessarily just because the bases are loaded.
You know, with it being so hot.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I won't throw it. With it being so hot, and you guys now get to take the rest of the day off, these guys go play again. How much advantage is that going into tomorrow?
Yeah,
Either one of y'all can answer.
I think it lets us rest our pitchers, and so we're gonna need them, and it gives them a little break instead of having to pitch 2 games. And just for us, I think it lets us lock in for whoever we have to play, and that we don't have to worry about being tired. More so, just going after whoever we play tomorrow with our best effort.
Yeah, guys. Oh, sorry, you got it.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Getting sick. I have the mic. A couple weeks ago, hitting was a little bit lower. So, what has really been the change between maybe SEC tournament to now when it comes to hitting?
I would say that we've just been a little bit more aggressive, or even when we do get behind in those counts, letting those pitches go. I think we've done a good job of still picking what we want to hit. And sometimes we come back to the dugout communicating, like we see things on film, and then it might be something different when we get out there. So we've done a really good job of communicating with each other, and then just going up there and doing our thing.
Awesome. And then, I mean, it feels like you guys have so much momentum now, 2 straight run rule victories. How do you guys hold on to this?
Yeah, just using the energy we have from whatever we've done this game and just taking it on to the next. And it's just playing our game and not riding on what happened in the past and just going after what's in front of us.
Staying in the back.
Katie, when the team is hitting this well, I mean, how much was there conversations with Tegan, Sophia, Lally in the dugout to say like, thank you for taking the pressure off of us because in the circle because of what you all able to do when you're in the batter's box.
Yeah, I think it just gives them, doesn't have to make them be perfect. It gives them a little more freedom to not have to go right at people and be pinpoint. And so when we're doing our job, it kind of gives them a little bit of a break, unlike having to score last minute and keep games close to the end.
Hi.
We got right in the middle.
Sorry. Michigan had, 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They're kind of punching back after you guys had that big top of the 3rd. What did you guys, what was your mindset going into the top of the 4th inning before you had that big offensive explosion?
I don't think much changed. It's just that we had to fight for each other, and that just because they might have a couple of runs doesn't mean that we can't do the job. So just kind of sticking to our plan, what we were going with. We weren't doing too bad the first time around, so just making sure that we were getting better as time went on.
Okay. And then Michigan put in 2 pitchers that I don't think you guys had seen much film on in the top of the 4th inning, Emerson Aiken and then Reagan Bennett, I believe. Haley Ferguson. Yep. What did you guys see from them that kind of, I don't know, was there anything you guys saw from their pitching styles that gave you guys the ability to get so many hits off of them?
I would say, okay, personally on the film thing, I kind of sometimes like going up there not knowing what they're throwing, so I'm not thinking about what they should be doing. So I think Coach Singh kind of had a plan for us and just saying, hey, it's this, and we were just kind of going with that, but going up there hacking and being on time.
Yeah, I think it was just trusting the scouting report and what our coach Singh was telling us and just sticking to the plan and going up there.
One more. Going back to y'all's home run competition, I just think that's hilarious. What was y'all's POV on each other's home runs, and what did you say to the other when they got back in the dugout?
I didn't say anything until I hit one today, but I told her that I was going to come back and get her. Again, I think it's kind of funny because they're at the beginning of the season, it kind of was like back and forth a little bit, and then she got ahead of me, and then I kind of had a few there. But now it's just like it seriously does happen. If she hits one, then I hit one. So just kind of keeping up and not even really holding each other accountable, but just cheering each other on.
Yeah, it's just not overthinking it, but just in the back of our minds, we know every time, like, just thinking about it's going to happen.
Yeah, we got two more players and we'll get out.
And Katie Bennett's showing that power too. I mean, what do y'all say when someone who's not a power hitter, when she gets one over the wall, what did y'all say to her in the dugout?
Well, we know she can hit for power, and BP, we see her hit them over all the time, and so it's just a matter of her finding her groove and being able to do that and more.
And the last one with Kurt.
How important do you feel like Katie's first home run was? Because Michigan had scored a little bit like yesterday, and you guys answering right away. And then, how much power does she have?
A lot. I'm a little scared of her when I have to play defense during practice. But yeah, I think it was a huge momentum shift. Maybe not necessarily the momentum was not in our hands, but I do think that when something like that happens, it does, like you asked a minute ago, hitting is contagious and home run hitting is also contagious. So we've hit several back-to-back home runs. We did today as well. So just kind of watching each other be successful, it makes us a little more confident.
Who's the most powerful hitter on the line?
I think Stewie is for sure. Yeah, Stewie she's got a nice exit velocity.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Great job.
All right, anyone's first question for Coach?
So do chicks dig the long ball?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, obviously it was a hitter's day today with the wind blowing out, being nice and hot. Ball carried pretty well. You could see, even Conway's home run was just hit really hard, but up in the air and just carried. So it was one of those days where you want to try and keep the ball on the ground.
And I know coaches, you're always looking at what didn't go right, even in a game like this. The error off the shift, and then, Tegan was okay. Like, what do you kind of tell the team entering tomorrow to kind of get them ready?
Yeah, well, basically the game, we can't carry any runs over, so it's going to be a fresh start, and the game doesn't know, and it's going to reward the team that plays the best. I know it's cliche, but it really is true, and we got to stay grounded. We got to stay focused. Can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We got to continue to have quality at bats, which I think we did a really good job today of managing the strike zone, and then getting pitches we could hit and doing a good job with that. There's always stuff we can work on. We make sure we're really cognizant of that. Every game's going to give you a lesson to learn if you pay attention, and that's what we're going to do is try to work on some of those things that we made mistakes on today.
Coach, when you have players in the dugout who are self-motivated and, competitive even within their own dugout like these guys are, how much easier is your job maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about just compete. If it takes and it takes the pressure off, you're not worried about anything else. Compete. If it's competed against one another, it's fine. If it's competed against the opposition, it's fine. If it's competed against yourself, that's fine. Just don't worry about the outcome. Just compete and give your best effort. I mean, that's already in control. So, they've done a pretty good job of that. If that motivates them, that helps them, I'm fine with it. We just don't worry too much about the result. The result's going to take care of itself if you do the right things. The fundamentals, I thought we did a pretty good job of that today. But, yeah, I mean, we got to be ready for tomorrow, though. U-Day.
Middle row right here to the far right.
Being able to run Durkowski out of the circle by the third inning, given the run she's been on since the start of the Big Ten tournament, was that a bit of a relief on the team's shoulders? Did that allow you to kind of loosen up as you enter that fourth inning where you really exploded there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we scouted their championship run through the Big Ten tournament. They looked fantastic. They hit the ball. They played some good defense. Pitching by Durkowski was excellent. And she's tough, and you always worry about that, But fortunately, we were able to capitalize on some mistakes she made today. And that was good patience by us. But we were well aware of how good she could pitch.
Coach, you have a pretty good track record. I'm curious if this part of the season right now in this regional and even the end of the SEC tournament, if it feels any different than it has in previous years or even more encouraging than it has in previous years for you.
No, not at all. Again, the game is the game, and we've got to stay focused. Do I feel in a better place? Absolutely. It's always much better to be in the winners bracket right now than being in having to come through and play another game and then put two wins together to win the championship. So, But, I've seen this on both sides. Momentum's huge, and that was the big inning we talked about. You guys talked about, them scoring a couple of runs in that inning. It was huge for us to come back and score again, to kind of break the wind out of their sails, so to speak. And, that was I think, a big turning point in the game.
Yeah, obviously, job's not done, but you do have 2 straight run rule victories. Is it safe to say your Augie Greedo speech the other week, did it land with the players?
Well, it wasn't mine, it was his. We showed it on the screen, so I can't take credit for it. But I did have an Augie moment, but, so I can't repeat that one. But, obviously, you don't want to, you don't want to be Captain Obvious out there, I mean, they know when they're not playing to their best and what's going on, but we just got to point out what they can control and what they can't. And, we just couldn't afford. We were just having bad at-bats. We were playing poorly on defense. We weren't making pitches. We were walking people. I mean, when you do that stuff, you're going to lose games. And so that's when we talk about fundamentals. That's fundamentals. You got to stay ahead of the hitters. Even like today when they scored their run, there was a walk that led off. I mean, so we got to eliminate those kind of walks.
I don't know if you expected a home run from Katie Bennett today. But, looking at the bottom of the order, Leanne's 2 for 3, Katie had 3 RBIs. When those guys are producing, how much does that help the rest of the lineup?
Oh yeah, it's contagious, as we talked about before, and you just need quality at bats from them. They don't have to be perfect. Leanne's in there for a defense, so quit trying to be go 3 for 3 all the time. Just get some quality at bats. You can hit. She showed today. She got the home run and hit another ball hard, and yesterday hit a couple balls hard, and so hopefully she's getting more confident in what she's doing and doesn't feel like she's struggling. And when we feel like we're struggling, we tend to try too hard. And we've talked about that. Just let it happen. Stay within yourself. And I think she's starting to do that right now. She feels a little bit less pressure on herself. I mean, we like it that she wants to do really well, but you can't beat yourself up.
Kurt, take us home.
When Katie Bennett did hit the home run, what did you think?
Great job.
Were you a little bit in shock, or?
No, not necessarily, because she does like that low pitch, and she was able to get a low pitch in her zone, and she was able to. And it's one of the reasons I took the bunt off of her. Right. I was thinking she might be able to get that pitch that she wanted, and she was. The one thing she said to me, she said she was sorry for missing the bunt. So that was okay to make up for it that way. So if you're gonna.
She rounded third or what?
No, I went to dugout. So she apologized to me for missing the bunt. So because that's one thing we talked about. Hey, I need you to get the bunt down, and
right.
She didn't quite get it down, and then battled and got a pitch and was able to hit the home run.
You don't have a home run sign you give your batters, do you?
No.
It looked like it today.
No.
And y'all set a playoff record for school.
Oh, really?
NCAA tournament.
Okay.
Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, the most home runs in a regional game.
So sum up your power for me. Your home runs seem a little less than last year.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your power?
I think so when they feel free to swing and not worry about making mistakes, they're being aggressive. We've seen that from other teams, and it kind of perplexes us when we're feeling for the ball. We're trying not to strike out, because if you look at our strikeout ratio to our walks, we don't walk very much, but we don't strike out much either. And so, you're almost better off to have maybe a few more strikeouts, but have a little more power. And so we kind of freed them up in that area and say, hey, let's not worry about the strikeout so much. Just make sure we're getting our best swings in.
And is Katie the most prodigious, power player you've had?
Well, Reese owns that title, but Katie Stewart's got the highest exit speed.
Yeah.
For sure. But obviously Reese is hitting the ball pretty hard too.